All right, all right. So again, welcome you guys into our next webinar here at Nimble Evolution. The topic for today is the team of the future, humans and AI playing together. So to kind of be inspired by the World Cup, what we decided to do was kick off our own team of World Cup champions here at Nimble. You have me, Jamel, as your host. I have my team, Fernando, Lucas, Samantha, and Wesley. And today we hope that we can score a couple of goals like Colombia yesterday with yesterday's game against Congo. But hopefully, at the end of this webinar, we will be holding the championship trophy in honor of that. So, uh, without further ado, what I would like to ask, you don't have to participate, but I would like you, if you guys can scan the QR code, and then just all you have to do is just answer the question. It'll just ask you to type in your first name. And then the question that we want to kind of kick off this webinar with is, if you were building a FIFA World Cup winning team, what would be your first priority? Now, there's no right or wrong answer. Um, we have you can recruit the best. Oh, so we already got some in. So creating a strong team culture, that's really important. We also have recruiting the best talent. Some people might think that that might win a championship. Developing winning strategies that some people might think that's also great. Using data analytics to gain an advantage. That might work, but um, I think when you put everything together, um, as far as team culture, recruiting the best talents, developing a winning strategy, and then using the data analytics to gain an advantage, I think that what drives a really good championship team. So, um, which leads me to my next slide. So I like everyone to take a moment and look at this image. Now, at first, it looks like a World Cup team getting ready to compete for like the biggest prizes in sports. But this image is more than just soccer itself. Like it shows or how organizations will work in the future for a long time. We have talked about AI like it's a technology project, right? We talk about the tools, we talk about automation, systems. But the real opportunity is not just about the technology. It really boils down to how we manage the teamwork. As most of us, our days are driven by the World Cup at the moment, we must think about it as a team does not win only because it has the best strikers or plays the best defense. It's a little bit more than that. It's having the best data, having the best team strategy, having culture, right? Having respect and having discipline for one another. A team wins when every person understands their role, trusts their teammates, and works towards the same goal, right? And that's the same is going to be true for AI. Humans bring this AI and cannot replace. And this is just my opinion. Um, Most of the conversations that I've had over the past couple of months has been, is AI going to replace my job or going to replace the job? And no, the whole point of AI is to help build the team for you to work better and smarter for the future. So it's just all about bringing the team together. So the future of work is not on the human side or on the AI side, but it's about how humans are working from the same playbook. And that means having shared understanding of who we are, what we're trying to achieve, and how decisions are made. And knowledge moves across those organizations. So when we can bring context, experience, values, and directions, AI brings speed, analysis, scale teams, and can work even harder. So the decisions improve. People are spending less time searching for information and more time action. Knowledge becomes easier for us to access, and teams become more flexible as they prepare for change. So just like the World Cup needs players, coaches, analysis, strategy, discipline, and trust successful organizations will need for people. AI governance and shared knowledge works towards one goal, and the future is now. So, without further ado, we're going to pass this over to Wesley, who will be talking about the VAR of AI, building trust through governance and human validation. Over to you, Wesley.
Thank you very much, Jamal. So guys, I would like to talk to you guys today about the VAR of the AI. So Jamal just showed us how the future of work will be built around humans and AI playing together. But there is one important question. If the AI joins the game, who makes sure that the AI will play by the rules? So that's why we're going to talk today. Uh, to, we can move on, please. Yeah, so that's the topics we're gonna show in today. And I'm gonna explore with you guys. So we can go ahead. So every winning team needs a VAR because the challenge today isn't just simply adopting an AI and trusting it will be a good job. So we can go to the next slide and I'll explain more. So if the AI joins the game, who makes sure it's played by rules? So that's our role because uh, in football, for example, when there's important play, there is a VAI review. So in the workplace and business environment, when the AI starts helping with decisions, recommendations, daily work, we also need a VAR as well. Like there's where governance and human validation and security starts. So that's our role. So, but sometimes our projects with AI stall. So why our AI project can be stalled? So many AI initiatives don't fail because technology. They fail because of trust. There are some of the questions the leaders and teams always ask. Can can my AI access confidential information? Or can I trust in this content? Can I make its decision by myself, trusting in the recommendation by AI? Or who will be responsible if something goes wrong? So without clear answers to these questions, companies usually don't be open to adopt and start using AI. So that's why it's so important to create this trust between the your AI that you feel comfortable to start to using. So the AI VAR framework, we can do some metaphor comparison between football and the enterprise AI using. So in one side we have the player in football, and in our business we're gonna have the AI. In our case, the role agent. So the player is equal to the plays, and the role is equal to the tasks for us. In football, we also have the referee that takes decision, make sure the rules will be followed, and the other side, we have the governments for our side, so we can make sure we are our policies and our rules by the game. From football, we have the VAR, and the business environment, we has our role by human validation. So the AI makes the play, but we, as a human, we have to make the validation if everything goes well. So also the rules in football, there's no difference in our business environment. We also have our permissions, the policy, as I said, and everything. So that's we can see our football world and our business world can connect in each other. So the governance doesn't slow AI down. It makes AI trustworthy. So uh, when we start to use AI, we always worry, oh, we don't need uh, make a governance and take care of that. Of course, we need, and they have to work together. We want to be fast and quick, but we also want to have secure in our process. So let's go through the VAR check number one, offside. That will be ours permissions. So let's imagine, for example, a confidential HER project in Jira, Service Manage, or a restricted space in Confluence, a restricted page, a very important document that cannot be shared to anyone. So if a user doesn't access to that information, Rovo from Atlassian also not gonna share this information with the user. So Rovo follows the permission that already exists in Atlassian ecosystem. So it doesn't create a new access, it doesn't ignore your security rules. It plays the same rules as everyone else. So in other words, if the player is offside, the goal doesn't count. So if your user doesn't have access to see anything, the Rovo not gonna share with them. So VAR check number two is the human validation. So, for example, imagine now a critical incident. So the payment system down or something like that. So the Rovo, as your player, your striker, can analyze similarities incidents, summarize information from Jira, find knowledges in Confluence, suggest a response. But there is important difference. Rovo just suggests, analyze helps, but humans approves because sometimes speed is important, of course, but responsibility is even more important. So it's your role to review, approve, and take responsibility and take decisions. So the AI gonna help you with suggestions and show the way, but you have to shoot the ball on the goal, you know? VAR check number three is auditability. So another important role of the VAR is reviewing what happened during the game. So in a company environment, that means being able to track decisions and actions. So we need to know who performed that action, what informant was used, what information was used, what recommendation was generated, and who approved that final decision. So governance and isn't just about control. Governance is also about transparency. So secured by design. Um, so for example, one of the Robo's biggest advantages is that it wasn't just added to Jira later. It was built directly into the Atlassian ecosystem. So that means it's already works with the current permissions, security controls, company policies, government rules. So AI isn't just a separate system working the other side with Rovo. It's part of the team. So it follows the same rules by everyone else, like I said before. So yeah, we can go straight to the next one. So that's basically the winning formula to win, that your goal will be confirmed, will not be offside, will be ready to celebrate with your mates. So when we talk about the future of work, we are not just talking about speed, we are talking about trust. because companies don't want to AI that only works faster. They want the AI works faster, sure, but they according to their company rules, or using our World Cup analogy. We can go to the next. Yeah. So thinking about another analogy, we can go to the next one, please. Yeah. Yeah. So Rovo helps build the play, but VAR make sure that goal counts. So that's our responsibility. We can work together with AI, but we all have to assume our responsibility. So, but there's another important piece. Even the best VAR depends on um, good skills and uh, make right decisions. And AI depends on good knowledge to provide useful answers. So the next question is, where does that knowledge come from? And that's exactly what we're going to explore next with Samantha. So always with you.
Awesome. Well, thank you, Wesley, for providing us with that insightful information. I hope you guys took something from that with the analogy of the FIFA World Cup. So our next question that we're going to do is which responsibility should always remain primarily human-led? So again, if you are just joining us, you can scan the QR code and just click your name and then select the answer that you think is correct. So whether it's strategy, creativity, accountability, or team leadership, which responsibility should always remain primarily human led? Awesome. So we have accountability and team leadership. I agree 1000% that it should be team leadership and accountability. AI can't do that for us. So it takes to us as people to do that. So jumping right into our next presenter, Samantha, who will be presenting the real power behind AI knowledge and not just models.
Thank
Take
you,
it away.
Jamal. Thank
Samantha,
you.
before we start on the next topic, just a few questions that we had here. Deborah asked what VAR stands for, and basically in soccer is the referee, I think is video assistant referee. Basically, is a way for you to double check the work, double check your referee, double check if he's doing the right job. And on another question that we see here, what would be the VAR in Rovo? It would not be prompts or skills. It would be the actual user, your teams that will double check what the AI is doing, what Rovo is doing. No matter how many prompts you add, how many skills you add, VAR will be just the fact that you have to have a governance team behind checking your work. Rovo will not make all the decisions. Like I will talk a little bit about that in the future. I think on the last few slides, we have to have the team behind it, working together, hand in hand, to make sure that everything goes right and everything is double checked. So go ahead, Samantha.
Thank you. Thank you for joining us today, guys. I'll talk about why knowledge powers AI and how it connects to Confluence and Rovo. Please, next. Think that humans create knowledge, and AI makes that knowledge easy to discover, to understand, and apply. Everyone is talking about AI, but there's something even more important than AI itself. That is the knowledge. Future teams will not just use a smarter AI. They use AI that knows the information their company already have. That's the foundation we will explore today and how it connects to Confluence using Rovo. Think that here in, oh, thank you. Think that teams prepare and have information. Every project leaves valuable knowledge base. Every incident, retrospective, design decision, customer conversation. The problem isn't the lack of knowledge. The knowledge it's often fragmented and is difficult to find. And this way we can have hope will help. Rovo understands trusted knowledge and delivers answers with link back to the original source. AI becomes more valuable when it understands our business context. This is where humans and AI truly start working together. A human creates knowledge, and Hovo helps to organize and prepare for everyone have access to this. Next, please. So how it works? Think that people create knowledge, powers AI, knowledge powers AI, and AI empowers people. So humans collaborating inside Confluence, for example, including information, knowledge is captured by Confluence. Hovo understand this information and connect information, and AI helps people make faster, better decisions with this source. So we have a new knowledge created in this case. Here we have Hovo in action. You can see in an example, we have several ways to use Hovo inside Confluence. This is just an example, and we have here an option to summarize content. Here we go to a Confluence page. You can use Confluence page, live doc, blog post, what you want to summarize. You have an option at the bottom called Summarize. Hovo will generate the summary, and we just copy and paste this information. This is just an application. Next, please. Another option we have that is really interesting is an option from Hovo that you can ask, and it shows some example. For example, summarize change, summarize page, create Jira work items. We can connect to Jira and create work items. For example, here, what are the key phases of onboarding? And you have more options. And if you don't find your answer, you just ask Hovo what you want. Next. We have who use Confluence knows that we can create page, we can create whiteboard, database, live doc, and we have a new option here. Is the first one, create with Hovo. Here we can create Confluence content using Create with Hovo option. You describe what you need. You can add files or links for contents, and Hovo creates a draft for you. You can then review and edit the content with built-in tools like chat, AI suggestion, and quick actions. Create with Hovo saves you time and make it easy to get started with new pages, with live docs, whiteboards, database, or slides. Next, please. Here we have an example with a whiteboard created with Hovo. While you ask what you want, Hovo prepare a preview for you. You edit information. You can ask to change the information. And after you finish, you can submit your prompt. Hovo works as an initial draft of your content in the preview area, and then you can make your changes. You can change content, and then after you finish, you just click Add to Confluence to include all this content inside a page, inside a whiteboard, inside a database, or a live doc. When your content preview is ready, you just click Add to Confluence. You have to select the space you want and the parent item you want. And if you create written content, you can add it as a live doc, a draft page, or a whiteboard. You can always continue to make edits to your content once you add it to a space, including switching between live doc and page or converting this to a blog post. When you create with Hovo, after that you can edit your previewed content. You can change the text yourself or use / command to insert elements. You can select what you want to edit, and then you can include AI actions displayed. For example, ask Hovo's left to prompt a specific session. More AI actions, you have an option, a drop down that lets you choose from quick ways to transform content. You can improve writing to improve the selection. You can translate content. For example, last week I had a Confluence training. I have a guide with more than 100 pages. I had to select to English all the content from Portuguese to English. I think it took 10 minutes because I had to review just that. You can also continue the chat with Rovo. You can use Open Chat and say, I want to change all headings to a sentence case. So as you can see, you can use Rovo and Confluence together to improve your content creation and management. I suggest you to use these new features and explore how Rovo can help with content creation and content management. I pass the ball. Thank you. Pass the ball to Jamal.
Thank you, Samantha, and we really appreciate that insight into how people can use Rovo. I love using Rovo. Try to use it every day. If you guys have never used Rovo or you want to get some support on how you can actually utilize Rovo in your day to day, please feel free to reach out to one of our experts who are on this call. You can reach out to us via email, or you can find them on LinkedIn and then just shoot them over a message and just tell them your use case on what would be useful for you. So thanks for that, Samantha. So right now we are doing a quiz, uh, but we're going to skip over it. But the pretty much what it was what is the primary goal of AI research? So again, you guys can scan the QR code, and then once you make your answers, then we will follow up closer towards the end of the presentation. So right now we're going to kick the ball over to our fourth speaker, which is Lucas. Lucas, take it away.
Thanks, Jamal. Hello, everyone. So Samantha showed us the playbook, yes, but a great playbook doesn't win the game by itself. What turns that knowledge into a teammate is one thing, is a context. Let me show you what I mean. So please, next. So here, oh, sorry, preview, please. Okay. So here's the question for your organization. Is your AI a tool or a teammate? Yes, because those are two very different things. A tool executes a command. A teammate understands the situation. And the difference between them has a name, the context. Next, please. So look at the two sides. On the left, the tool, it waits to be told what to do. It knows only the prompt you give it, and it hands everyone the same answer. On the right, the teammate. It knows the history and the rules. It reads the workflow and not just the words, and it answers grounded in your reality. Same underlying AI. What moves in from left to right is context. Next. So think about a brilliant signing who joins mid-season, enormous talent, but one day he doesn't know the tactical system. He hasn't met his teammates. He's never read the lineup. So he plays outside the system. That's exactly what Generac AI does in your company. It's capable, but is blind to your history, your rules, and the way your teams actually talk. Uh, Context isn't one thing. Yeah, it has layers. First, knowledge. What's writing down. The second, connection. The same facts linked across tools. Third, permissions. Who's allowed to see what? The fourth, current state. What's happening in the work right now? And the fifth, relevance. What matters for this task, this person? Yeah. And knowledge is the library. Context is knowing which page matters for display. Next. And now this is where Hovo stops being a chatbot and starts being a teammate. It doesn't read one document in isolation. It connects the whole field, Jira, Confluence, Jira Service Management, and external sources with connectors, for example, with your permissions intact. So the answer you get isn't generic. It's grounded in your work. Next. And same question. Two very different teammates. Without context, you get a vague, generic answer. Yeah, a stranger guessing. So with connect context, you get something specific and actionable. Real tickets, real blocker, real owner. Same question, completely different teammate. Next, please. So great context has VAR. And notice why that second answer was reliable. It depended on trust data and the right permissions. So context isn't only about connection. It also needs guardrails, yes, trusted data, permissions, and human checkpoints. That's the VAR of AI. It what keeps the teammate honest. And thanks a lot.
Awesome. Thank you, Lucas, for that awesome presentation. We're going to keep the ball just moving right now. So if you guys can scan the QR code again, I'm not sure if you can just reopen it, but which role would you trust your AI to help your teams with most? Is it analyzing opponents and trends, summarizing information and insights, recommending actions and next steps, or automating repetitive work? So I see we have some votes coming in, analyzing opponents, summarizing information. Uh, it looks like automating repetitive work is taking the field by storm. So without further ado, we are going to come up on our last and final speaker, which is Fernando, who is going to be our striker. Hopefully, he can kick this goal in and win us the title. So I'm gonna pass it over to you, Fernando.
Perfect, guys. And my topic is basically gathering everything that we talked about today and actually thinking about the starting 11, and how you actually can get that from an idea into the field. So building the lineup, how can you actually do that? As you can see here, I divided them in two different fronts, completely separate. You have the AI view, where they can go ahead after you've done all the analyzing, all the context, like Samantha said, where you have to do the judgment side, the strategy side, and then you do the repetitive work on the actual AI side. You have them do knowledge retrieval, summarization, recommendation, repetitive work, but you have to have everything behind it on the human front. You have to have the accountability, checking your work, checking the progress, checking if everything is going right on the AI front. The judgment front, you have to decide where to use AI and when to use AI. And the best part, the CAO front, the coach side, where you have to have the strategy of the organization. You don't have to rely on AI to do exactly that. AI should be focused on speed, scale, consistency, things that can do easily. And humans on the other front, the creative side, the taking directions, actually making decisions on the day-to-day basis. And why do I mention that? Because if you decide to separate this, you don't have those problems that we're seeing currently. There's a lot of organizations that skip this first step, skipping analyzing it, getting this detail, this strategy behind it to actually move towards AI, and they don't have knowledge bases, they don't have context, like Lucas mentioned, they don't have the background work, they don't have the actual foundation to move forward and actually implement AI as a winning solution. They just decide to put 11 people into the field, and they don't have any cohesion between them. So I'm going to talk a little bit about what positions actually belong to AI. So you can see on things AI should not lead, things that they should get the red card. is everything related to decisions. So CEO decisions, approvals on compliance, and this is any approval. I'm a big proponent of actually going towards approvals for humans, not relying on AI to approve anything like software and tools in general, because we have seen a lot of companies have big financial holes when they approve every software based on AI prompts or approve any request based on previous data, for example. We have instant command during critical crisis. There is a lot of problems happening right now related to AI, where AI is, for example, AWS. There was a famous case where they dropped the AWS for a period of time. So there's a lot of different scenarios where AI may cause the incident. So it also should not be the one fixing it. They can give you information, but you should be going there and understanding what is the root cause. AI should only give you extra data, not the full view, the full scope of the problems. The exceptions for customer impacting anything related to customers in general. We have seen a lot of pushback on the customer front on anti-AI. So you should make, even if they're interacting with AI, you should make it warmer, should make it more human in general, because people want that, they crave that necessity of talking to a human, or at least pretending to interact with a human. So if you're going to introduce chatbot or anything that's customer facing, you should move towards something more humane, even making your chatbots sound more humane, and accountability in general. Everything the AI do, they don't have anything they will answer to. Everything the AI do will have to be vetted, trained, and actually looked upon by someone, a team. And something that I recommend across multiple companies, and every single time that I start implementing Rovo, is creating an AI team, an AI forward team. And that team will monitor all the initiatives, they will monitor how to best move this forward, and they will also monitor the usability of it, how is actually bringing the return on investment of this AI. So you don't have those big money pits where you're spending thousands and thousands on tokens and you're getting nothing in return. So before you start talking AI, before you start talking about actually investing into this culture, into this shift that is happening across the globe, talk about bringing accountability back into the team and try forming one of the teams to actually move towards and look at all the initiatives happening in your company. I've seen great success in this area. And what AI can be, going back a little, Jamal, what AI can be very useful is actually on the parts that can be fully automated. So researching, you can just ask AI to go through 1,000 documents and summarize everything for you, bring in data for you, and actually build documents for you. And this is extremely useful when you're thinking about building knowledge bases. And instead of having to rely on users to do that, you can just do a full step of building with the AI, and then afterwards have an approval step like Samantha just mentioned, where you ask the AI to build everything, and then you go around and edit it down to what you consider necessary. Why do I mention that? Whatever they do, whenever they do research, AI always builds things that sound like AI. And one of the things that I always recommend, especially on KB fronts or anything that is customer facing, try to make your documents, KBs, materials more humane, because if I open a document, I'm one of your users. I go into your website, I open a document, and it's very AI heavy, where it sounds like AI, it reads like AI, and the text is gigantic. I'm gonna skip over it, and I'm not gonna read your research. I'm not gonna read your material. On the analysis front, it works the exact same way. Everything that it spits out, it should be graphs, it should be clear, it should be small information, small tidbits. Don't use AI to build gigantic documents, because it will not work. You should look forward to building things that will be easy and faster for the human to consume. And that jumps in straight into the knowledge discovery, where you have the ability to, this one, I think AI works flawlessly, where at any point you can just prompt it, where can I find information on X? And then it's going to go through your SharePoint, Confluence, Google Docs, Google hard drive, anywhere that has access to information, and it'll grab the information and bring that to you, either send you a link or give you the information directly. And this works with Claude, ChatGPT, Rovo, whatever. And I think this is the best part, but it should also be vetted. You should teach your AIs, especially on the prompts and skill level, to always bring information that it considers 100% true and not start inventing things. We know the AI has a very strong bias towards inventing things or bringing information from wrong sources. So I recommend also adding on to your prompts the ability to vet that information, basically cut it down to the bare minimum that you can know is 100% true. You don't want KBs feeding KBs with wrong information. The draft creation, always easy to go back to research, like I mentioned. Ask it to build a skeleton, and you just pepper things in to make it easier for you. Instead of having to take 4 hours to build something, it can take an hour, 20 minutes, depending on the complexity. Recommendations as a whole, this is one of the best, and Jira does this flawlessly, where the AI feature will look through the data and suggest ways for you to fix this, either through things that it did in the past, your team did in the past, or things that is seen as best practices in the market. But as always, they have to have the accountability behind it because they are suggestions. You have to have your team accept those suggestions or deny them. So you have to give them as a presentation, as device instead of something they should follow strictly. And lastly, the workflow execution. This doesn't talk about Jira. It's just your step to step. So from A to Z, you can run automated tests. You can run document creation for KBs. You can run triage. So all those first levels, all those mechanical tasks, they're very, very good. But as always, they are something that should always be thoroughly vetted every few months, every few weeks, to make sure everything is working correctly and you're getting and giving the right answers. So AI can recommend, but humans always have to decide. And on the next topic, I think is my favorite, is the 3 ways that the AI can contribute. So next slide, Jamal. How you can actually get the 3 ways to contribute. The AI can impact every single part of the play. The first part, the assist, something that I always recommend that you follow the structure. When you first introduce AI, tell your teams they're going to use AI for basic things. Searching, summarizing things, content drafts, and build that into your organization. See whether you have the right documents, you have the right information, and work on this, the background, work on the actual first level of your organization where you build data for it. And that's why I'm saying it works faster, because it's just the assist level, the first level of the structure. The second part is where you actually use that data, that summarizing, the content drafts, everything that you taught your users to use, and you actually improve upon it, because you cannot have the identification of risk, patterns, or recommendations if you don't have a strong foundation on the background to actually feed data into the AI to actually give you those informations. And after you have all the ability to actually contribute and find risks, find patterns between them, you can actually automate those tasks. And this is the part where I think most companies make mistakes. They jump straight from the first part where they buy ChatGPT, buy Claude, they buy those licenses, and they expect the users to automate those tasks. And a few things, very basic things you can automate, like send an email or just talk to people. But if you decide to fully automate the tasks, they're actually bringing the return of investment of those very expensive tokens. You have to have the background, and you have to have the context, the KBs, the actual information for your AI to make decisions. They cannot give a status update where they don't have the information of the project for the last few years, for example. They cannot route the tickets if they don't have a background with all the information for your like 6 months to see which teams deal with which tickets. They will just start guessing, and that's where things go wrong and people start hating using AI. And lastly, the execution. It can either help or break your team depending on what you need to do. If it's just repetitive tasks, works great. If it's working towards something like building things for you, especially on the code front, you have to have a very robust prompts and very robust templates and guardrails to make sure it gives you the right information. On the next part, how Rovo can fit in those lineups. Rovo can go through every step that I mentioned and fill in those gaps. They can summarize Confluence pages and any page that it has access to. Like Wesley mentioned, there is security concerns that you don't have with Rovo. He can go through everything and use the actual profile of the user to find those pages, draft contents, and build things based on that. The augmenting side, it basically can do literally everything that you wish to do, and can also prompt other AIs to come in and actually get that information and give you the right ideas. And the best part is Rovo, with those tools that we're mentioning, they have built-in information inside of the tool, so they feed each other information, Rovo feeding Rovo information, with which on those specific cases they work great because they are very contrived on the instant front, on the coding front. So they were built with conceived prompts with full of guardrails and information for you to always have that at the tip of your fingers. And lastly, like I mentioned, updating queries across the organization, updating a request, triaging, basically going over every single scenario that you wish to. And this doesn't need to be Rovo. This can work with anything in your organization. We're just mentioning Rovo because I think it's one of the better AI tools that's fully integrated into a software today. But any tool will work because they all follow the same 3 steps. You have to have foundation, you have to teach it, and then you can use it to its fullest extent. And lastly, but not least, the winning team of the future. How can you actually do that? By defining those parts. AI should never replace your team. They should never be the developer. They should never be the actual agent in question. They should be something that will complement your team. That's why they work together, because nobody can do it alone. Right now, AI is not something that you should be thinking, oh, should I start using or not? Is something that is already in the past. Is something that every organization is using at least a little bit of it. So it's not something new. It's not something that should be taught in the future. It's something you should be using last week. And if you didn't start, you should be starting using today. But with all the actual recommendations that me and my team did. So once again, you guys should look at those different scenarios, separate your team, and move together as a whole unit. AI and humans hand to hand. Thank you guys, and Jamal, take it away.
Thank you, Fernando. That was a lot of information that you covered, and I hope you guys got something out of it. My team is always available to help answer any questions, whether it's surrounding around AI or Rovo or best practices that will help you guys in your day to day. So again, if you can scan the QR code, I believe we have a couple questions that we still need to answer, but we are running out of time. So what I want to do is do a key takeaway and some question and answers. Does anyone have any questions at this time? Feel free, drop it in the QA section. Not sure. I was just checking to see. Fernando, if you guys can monetize, it looks like we do. The QR did not open anything. Okay, because we're running out of time, I really appreciate it, Deborah. We'll skip that question for the time being. So just jumping in right in the key
Jamal,
takeaways.
we just got a few questions here. So we
Okay.
got a question here from John. What is the best AI that you recommend today? Guys, honestly, there is no one AI that we recommend. All AIs fit different scenarios. We have AIs on the creative side. We have AIs that focus better with images, content, and everything that I mentioned. I think AIs, they work better depending on the scenario that you have. So it's a company by company basis. On Jira, for example, I always recommend Rovo, but it works with all the AI tools. So I don't think you should be thinking about which AI is the best one. I think you should think about which AI will fit your needs the best. So look at what they offer, look at your day-to-day scenarios, and try to find something that would actually help you find your solution. For example, generating images, graphs. They each one have their own peculiarities. So you should try it out and see which one's best for your needs. And we have one more question from what's your name? Harrington. Harrington. So Harrington asked, what is the best approach to actually building those KBs? Basically, guys, what I mentioned is one thing that I always like to do is go through all the information that you have currently, the things that you use in your day-to-day tasks, and actually use Rovo to build that, or any AI tool, but don't forget to actually go through and actually build the information. But to build KBs, I recommend using a lot of different features that go away from AI. There is softwares and browser extensions that monitor your clicks, and after you build those on like step by step on how to do things, then you can throw into AI to actually go through the material and build the documentation for you. But always have that first human step where you actually do the material, and then AI can always add and pivot towards more information. I think we only have those two questions, so take it away, Jamal.
Awesome. So let's quickly recap. So the main ideas from today's presentation is one, the future is not about humans competing with AI. It's about humans and AI working together. AI is becoming a teammate that helps people move faster, finding information more easily, and reducing time spent on repetitive tasks. Right? We are still, as humans, remain essential because we bring the context, the judgment, the creativity, and the accountability needed for them to make the right decisions, right? Two, think about the World Cup team, right? Success does not come from one great player alone, unless you're Messi or Ronaldo. But it comes with having the right lineup, right? The right roles and the right coordination. The same is true for teams using AI. To get real value, organizations need to understand where humans should lead and where AI can support and how they both can work effectively. Three, AI is the most useful when it's guided with a clear playbook. So being that coaches in that coaching seat. That means teams need to share goals, clear processes, trusted data, and well-defined ways of working. Without that structure, AI can become just another tool. But with the right playbook, it becomes part of the how work gets done. Number four, even AI becomes more powerful, and humans will continue to lead the areas that most matter most, which is setting strategies, making judgment calls, applying creativity, understanding nuances, and taking accountability for outcomes. And then number five, AI is the strongest when it helps teams spend less time searching, summarizing, and doing routine work, right? So it can help by finding relevant knowledge, summarizing documents, issues, conversations, recommending next steps, automating repetitive tasks, and then helping teams move from information to action faster. And then six, generating AI can also be helpful, but connecting AI is far more powerful. And when AI has access to trusted knowledge and an organization context, it can provide that more relevant and accurate, actionable information for you. And what it turns AI in from general purpose assistant into a true teammate that understands how your teams work. And then number seven, Robo helps makes the vision practical by connecting knowledge across tools like Jira, Confluence, Jira Service Management, and other organization sources. So by bringing that context together, Robo helps with finding information faster, understanding work across systems, making better decisions, reduce manual efforts, coordinating, and working smarter and faster. So in closing, with this, AI is not replacing the team. AI, it should become part of your team. All right. Now, we really appreciate you guys for taking the time out of your busy day to join us for this webinar. We look forward to seeing you on our next webinar next month. In the meantime, if you do have any questions on Rovo or getting some sort of support around how you can use AI today, feel free to contact us. You can scan the QR code, or you can write us at info@nimbleevolution.com, and we'll be happy to support you. And then lastly, but not least, our upcoming NEXP event is going to be hosted in September 23rd to the 25th in Sao Paulo, Brazil. So we have a little video for you to save the date, mark your calendars, and we hope to see you at that event. So again, thanks again, guys, and we appreciate all the presenters who took the time out of their day to bring us all this knowledge today. Thanks, guys.